Learn English naturally, just by watching.
Let's improve your English together, one real-life video at a time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English with me. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Jacob. How are you doing today, Olivia?
I'm doing great. Actually, I'm a bit hungry. I was just thinking about going to a restaurant later.
Oh, really? That's perfect timing, because today we're talking about exactly that topic.
Yes, today's episode is all about restaurants. We're going to teach you how to navigate a restaurant experience in English, step by step.
And this is super useful, whether you're traveling to an English-speaking country or you just want to practice your English at a local restaurant. This episode will help you.
Absolutely. We'll cover everything from the moment you walk in the door to the moment you leave.
We'll teach you what to say, how to order, and how to handle different situations.
And don't worry if you're a beginner. We're going to keep it simple and clear. We'll use easy vocabulary and give you lots of examples.
Plus, we'll share some of our own restaurant experiences, some good ones and some funny ones.
Oh yes, I have a few embarrassing stories to share.
Me too. But first, let's start at the very beginning. What happens when you first arrive at a restaurant?
Okay, so picture this. You're walking up to a restaurant. Maybe it's your first time eating out in English. You're a little nervous.
That's totally normal, but here's the good news. It's actually quite simple.
The first thing you do is you walk in. And when you walk in, someone will greet you. This person is usually called the host or the hostess.
Or sometimes it's just the waiter. It depends on the restaurant.
Right. So when you walk in, what should you say?
Keep it simple. Just smile and say hello or hi. That's it.
Exactly. A simple greeting is perfect. Hello or hi. Super easy.
And then the host will usually ask you something like, how many people? Or table for how many?
This is when you tell them how many people are with you. The phrase you need is very simple. A table for number, please.
So, for example, if you're alone, you say, a table for one, please.
If you're with a friend, you say, a table for two, please.
If you're with your family, maybe 4 people, you say, a table for 4, please.
See how easy that is? Just a table for number, please. That's the formula.
And always remember to say please. It's polite and it makes everything smoother.
Absolutely. Politeness is so important. We'll talk more about that later.
So you've asked for a table. The host will then take you to your table and give you the menu.
But sometimes they forget. It happens.
That's true. So if you sit down and you don't have a menu, what do?
You can politely ask for it. Just say, can I have the menu, please?
Can I have the menu, please? Simple and polite.
I actually had this happen to me once in London. I sat down at this nice restaurant and I waited for maybe 5 minutes. No menu.
What did you do?
I got the waiter's attention. We'll talk about that later. And I just said, excuse me, can I have the menu, please? And he said, oh, I'm so sorry, and brought it right away.
See? No problem at all. Now, let's talk about the menu itself.
Yes, the menu. This is where you decide what to eat.
But menus can sometimes be confusing, especially if you're learning English. There are different sections.
Right. Let me break it down for you. Most menus have 4 main sections.
First, you have the starters. In American English, we also call these appetizers.
Starters are small dishes that you eat first before your main meal. Things like soup, salad, or bread.
They're light. They're just to start your meal. That's why we call them starters.
Some examples: tomato soup, Caesar salad, garlic bread. These are common starters.
Then you have the main courses. This is also called the entree in American English.
The main course is the most important part of your meal. It's usually the biggest dish.
Examples include chicken, pasta, steak, fish, hamburgers, pizza. These are main courses.
After the main course, you have desserts.
Desserts are sweet foods that you eat at the end of the meal.
Like cake, ice cream, pie, or chocolate mousse. Yum!
I love desserts. My favorite is chocolate cake.
Mine is ice cream. Any flavor, really. Okay, and the last section is drinks.
This one is easy. Drinks are beverages, things you drink.
Water, juice, soda, coffee, tea, beer. These are all drinks.
So, to recap quickly, starters, main courses, desserts, and drinks. Those are the 4 main sections of most menus.
Got it? Great. Now let's say you've looked at the menu. You've decided what you want. The waiter comes to your table.
The waiter will usually ask you, "Are you ready to order?"
This is a simple yes or no question. If you're ready, you say, "Yes, I am," or just, "Yes, please."
But if you need more time, don't worry. Just say, "Just a minute, please," or "Not yet. Can I have a few more minutes?"
It's totally okay to ask for more time. They understand.
I do that all the time. Sometimes I can't decide between 2 dishes.
Me too. Okay, so let's say you're ready to order. How do you actually order your food?
This is important. In English, we try to be polite and natural when we order.
So instead of saying, "I want the soup," which sounds a bit direct or even rude, we use softer phrases.
The most common phrases are, "I would like," or "I'll have."
Let me give you examples. "I would like the tomato soup, please."
Or, "I'll have the chicken pasta, please."
See the difference? "I would like" and "I'll have" sound more polite and natural than "I want."
Exactly. And always add "please" at the end.
Let's practice a full ordering sequence. Imagine the waiter asks, "Are you ready to order?"
You say, "Yes, I am. I would like the Caesar salad to start, please."
Good. And then, "I'll have the grilled chicken for the main course, please."
Perfect. And maybe, "Can I have a glass of water, please?"
Excellent example, Jacob. You used "can I have." That's another great polite phrase.
"Can I have" is super useful. You'll use it a lot.
Absolutely. Okay, so you've ordered your food. Now you wait. The food arrives. You start eating.
While you're eating, the waiter might come to your table to check on you.
They'll usually ask something like, "Is everything okay?" or "How is your meal?"
This is when you give positive feedback. You can say, "Yes, it's delicious," or "Everything is great, thank you."
Even if the food is just okay, you can say, "It's good, thank you." Keep it simple and positive.
Now, what if you need something during your meal? Maybe you need more water, or you want another soda.
First, you need to get the waiter's attention. Don't shout, just make eye contact and say, "Excuse me."
Excuse me is the polite way to get someone's attention in English.
Then you can make your request. For example, "Can I have some more water, please?"
Or, "Can I have another soda, please?"
Or maybe, "Can I have some extra napkins, please?"
There's that "can I have" phrase again. It's so useful.
I use it all the time. In fact, I have a funny story about this.
Oh, tell us.
Okay, so a few years ago, I was in New York. I went to this American diner for breakfast.
Diners are classic American restaurants.
Yes, so I ordered pancakes, but the syrup bottle on the table was empty.
Oh no.
I know, pancakes without syrup? That's a tragedy. So I got the waiter's attention and said, "Excuse me, can I have some syrup, please?"
That's perfect. What did he say?
He said, "Of course," and brought me a whole new bottle. Problem solved.
See, it's that easy. Just "excuse me" and then make your polite request.
Exactly. Now let's talk about finishing your meal and paying.
Yes, this is the final step. You've finished eating, you're ready to leave, but first you need to pay.
In English, we call the total amount you need to pay the bill or the check.
The bill is more common in British English. The check is more common in American English.
But both are understood everywhere, so you can use either one.
To ask for the bill, you say, "Can I have the bill, please?" Or, Can I have the check, please?
The waiter will bring you a piece of paper or a small folder with the total amount.
Now, if you want to pay with a credit card or debit card, you might want to check first.
You can ask, "Do you take credit cards?" or "Can I pay by card?"
Most restaurants accept cards nowadays, but it's good to check, especially in smaller places.
Once you've paid, you're ready to leave, but don't forget to be polite.
As you leave, say thank you to the waiter or host.
You can say, "Thank you, goodbye," or just, "Thanks, have a good day."
This shows appreciation for the service. It's a nice way to end the meal.
Absolutely. Okay, we've covered the whole process, but I want to talk about some key tips for beginners.
Good idea. These tips will really help you feel more confident.
Tip number 1, always be polite. Use please and thank you as much as possible.
Politeness makes everything easier. People appreciate it, and they'll be more patient and helpful.
Tip number 2, keep it simple, especially at first.
What do you mean by that?
Well, when you're just starting to learn English, don't try to order complicated dishes with difficult names.
Oh, I see. Like, instead of ordering grilled sea bass with lemon butter sauce and asparagus, you could order something simpler.
Exactly. Order pizza, pasta, salad, chicken, things with easy names that you can pronounce confidently.
That's smart. It builds your confidence.
Once you feel more comfortable, you can try more complex items.
Tip number 3, practice at home first.
Yes, you can do role-playing with friends or family. One person can be the waiter, one person can be the customer.
This helps you practice the phrases before you use them in a real restaurant.
It's like a rehearsal, and it's actually fun.
I did this when I was learning Spanish. It really helped.
And the final tip, this is so important. Don't be afraid of making mistakes.
This is the most important tip, I think.
Most restaurant staff are friendly and patient. They deal with people from all over the world.
If you make a small mistake, they won't mind. They'll appreciate that you're trying to speak English.
Exactly. Everyone makes mistakes when learning a language. It's normal and it's okay.
I remember when I was learning French, I once accidentally ordered poison instead of fish.
Oh no, what happened?
The waiter laughed kindly and corrected me. He said, "I think you mean poisson. That's fish. Poison is something very different."
That's a big difference.
I was so embarrassed, but he was nice about it, and I never made that mistake again.
That's the thing. Mistakes help you learn. They're part of the process.
So don't let fear stop you. Just try your best.
Now, I want to share one more personal story before we finish.
Please do.
Okay, so this happened when I first moved to England. I didn't know that chips in British English means French fries.
Oh, that's a classic confusion.
Right. So I was in a pub and I ordered fish and chips, which is a traditional British dish.
Fried fish with French fries.
Exactly. But in my mind, I was expecting potato chips, like the crispy snacks in a bag.
Oh no.
I know. So when the food arrived, I was so confused. I thought, these chips are very thick and hot.
What did you do?
I asked the waiter, "Excuse me, are these chips?" And he said, "Yes, love, they're chips. Is something wrong?"
And then you realized.
Yes, I felt silly, but I explained that in American English we call them fries. He laughed and said, "Ah, you're American. Don't worry, happens all the time."
That's a great example of how language can be different even in English-speaking countries.
Absolutely. British English and American English have some different words for food.
But the basic phrases we've taught today work everywhere.
Yes, they're universal. Whether you're in London, New York, Sydney, or anywhere else, these phrases will help you.
Let me just mention a few more useful phrases that might come up.
Good idea.
If the food takes a long time and you're wondering where it is, you can ask, "How much longer for our food?" Or, "Is our food coming soon?"
If you have an allergy or dietary restriction, you can say, "I'm allergic to nuts," or "I'm vegetarian. What do you recommend?"
If you want to know what something on the menu is, you can ask, "What is this dish?" Or, "What's in the Caesar salad?"
And if you want a recommendation, you can ask, "What do you recommend?" or "What's popular here?"
These are all useful bonus phrases.
Oh, and here's another one. If you want to split the bill with friends, you can say, "Can we have separate bills, please?" Or, "Can we split the check?"
That's very useful when dining with friends.
One more thing, tipping. In some countries like the United States and Canada, tipping is expected.
Yes, usually 15 to 20% of the bill.
In other countries like Japan, tipping is not customary. In the UK, it's optional but appreciated.
So it's good to research tipping customs before you travel.
But that's more cultural than language related.
True. Okay, well, I think we've covered everything.
Let's do a quick recap of the main points.
All right, let's recap the key points from today's episode.
First, when you arrive at a restaurant, greet the host with hello or hi, then ask for a table for number, please.
Second, understand the menu sections: starters, main courses, desserts, and drinks.
Third, when ordering, use polite phrases like "I would like" or "I'll have" instead of "I want."
Fourth, during your meal, respond positively when asked if everything is okay. Say, "Yes, it's delicious," or "Everything is great, thank you."
Fifth, if you need something, get the waiter's attention with "Excuse me," then make your request. "Can I have some more water, please?"
Sixth, when you're ready to leave, ask for the bill. "Can I have the bill, please?" Or, "Can I have the check, please?"
And finally, always be polite, keep it simple, practice at home, and don't be afraid of making mistakes.
Those are the essentials.
If you remember these points, you'll do great at any restaurant.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode.
I hope you found this helpful. Going to a restaurant should be fun, not stressful.
And remember, practice makes perfect. The more you use these phrases, the more natural they'll become.
Why not try this? Next time you go to a restaurant, even in your own country, try using some of these English phrases.
That's a great idea. It's good practice, and it helps build confidence.
Before we go, we have a quick challenge for you.
Yes, here's your homework. Practice ordering a meal at home. Imagine you're in a restaurant.
Write down what you would say when you arrive, when you order, and when you pay. Use the phrases we taught today.
You can even practice out loud. It might feel silly, but it really helps.
And if you want to share your practice with us, you can write it in the comments below this episode.
We love hearing from our listeners.
Thank you so much for listening to English with me today. We really appreciate your time.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our podcast and share it with your friends who are learning English.
Next week, we have another exciting topic for you. We'll be talking about shopping in English, how to ask for sizes, prices, and more.
That's going to be a great episode. You won't want to miss it.
Until then, keep practicing, keep learning, and remember, every conversation is a chance to improve.
You're doing great. We believe in you.
I'm Olivia.
And I'm Jacob.
Both. Thank you for listening. See you next time on English with me. Goodbye.